All right. All right. So hopefully after we're done here tonight, I can offer this to anybody who missed this for some reason or another and would like to watch what we're going to do right now.
For
So
a fee, Steve. For a fee. For a fee.
for a
They should be
fee,
charged a fee.
and we all get a cut.
Raise some money for the association.
Okay. Well, we can donate our fee, that whatever we make, back to the youth fund. Absolutely. Okay, so what we're going to do here is I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to go into Hudl, so you'll be able to see my screen. Please interrupt me if you have any questions as we go along. You also might have some tips that I don't know about as we go along. You might want to chime in. And then finally, I will start to progress quickly from just the login for the new persons and get to the way to do and markup, create and markup cutups. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to share my screen and it's going to be my login. I want to optimize right here in case I run some video. You don't want it to be all jumpy. Okay, so you should be looking at my screen. That's my login for Hudl. Up here at the top are all my other little logins that I have for different things. I put my Hudl login right there on top. And then when you get notified from Hudl and you click on the notification, and I'm the one who generates that by putting you into Hudl as a coach, then you get this screen and it asks you for your password. And so you have to remember what your password is. And once you enter your password and log in, then you get to a main screen. Now, when you get to there are two types of main screens. This is the main screen that happens to be for the Grossmont conference over here in the upper left-hand corner. I can also show you another home screen, which is the main home screen for Steve Coover. And this is usually where there are different videos listed in the middle that have come from Hudl itself, or people post them. Tusculum University from Olaney College is down here. You know, different people. When you share a video, it'll be down here, and so you can scroll down, and you can go down and down and down. This is one that came to me from Florida, and they wanted a ruling on this particular play, and so this is where if you can't find something that was sent to you, you might want to go to your home page and scroll down through those videos until you find the person or the video that got shared with you. So on this home page, up here at the top is your name, your profile, your account, and some stuff that I get because I'm the administrator. And then there's different notification things. I don't use these at all. I do an upload once in a while, but I don't use it as a routine. That would be something that came out of a movie. For example, the NFL sent me some, Garth sent me some Super Bowl plays from the Super Bowl. And I had them in another movie. And I uploaded the movie and it went into my Hudl files. So you can actually take movies and put them into your files by using upload. So that's upload right up here. Very simple to do. Follow the steps, follow the directions, and it'll, like I said, it'll take a movie. Sometimes a coach will send you a movie of something, and then you can upload it and put it into Hudl. Other things up here, Explore. I don't know what Explore is. I don't use that. And then, of course, Home. I talked to you about that. And then underneath this Hudl logo are the different logins that you have. So for me, I have a lot of college logins and different. I actually belong to Foothills Citrus and Long Beach and Mojave Desert and the Northwest. John Downing, I saw him. He's in the Northwest Conference here. Orange County, as you know, we share a lot of film between us. But these are the main ones for San Diego right here. There are 5 conferences: City Conference, Coastal Conference, Grossmont Conference, which I'm in right now, Metro, and the North County Conference. And you have to be logged into each. You have to be a member of each one of those. So right now, the crews are setting up their crews in a location called Managed Team right here. And what they're doing, I'll go ahead and click on that. What they're doing is they're creating a crew. Let's go down here to Scott Corso's crew. And here's Scott Corso's crew. He has put it into a group called Corso Crew 21. So when I go into Friday night and Saturday morning's games, and I want to share that game with this crew, I can just share it with Corso Crew 21, and it automatically goes to those 5 people. The person who sets this up is the crew chief. Once in a while, the crew chief will contact me and say, hey, B. Haas is not in the Grossmont conference. Can you add him to the Grossmont conference? And I do that. Once that's done, I notify Scott, he's in, and then Scott goes back in and adds him. And the way he adds them, I'm not going to get into it, but he goes up here into edit group and does that. So this is a economic way for us to share film and for me to share film on Saturdays. So I'm going to go back, get out of this, go back to video library now. And now I'm still in the Grossmont conference, and I am now in the video library. So if I don't want to be in the Grossmont conference, I have to, and it's kind of tricky. Sometimes I click on it and then I get over here and then drag it down. Sometimes it wants to close on you. I don't know the secret to that. The other thing I asked Hudl is, this is kind of a pain in the butt, and all that I use, most of what I use is down here, and I wanted it to be up on top, and they said, I'm sorry, this is in alphabetical order, and it's the only way it's going to show up. So Christian High School, which I've told them 10 times, take me out. I don't want to be a member of Christian High School. They are in C, F for Foothills, K for KCOA, and Long Beach, Mojave, all the way down here to San Diego. So that's why I have to come down here and drag it down. So let's go to the most common one I use, which is North County Conference. By the way, anytime I send you a film, that film is from one of the conferences. So let's go to North County Conference. And if I'm in the North County Conference, there we go. And I go up here into, where was I going with this? Into the library. Oh, I know where I was going to go. I was going to go into the league pool. So on Saturday, when I get film, there we go. It's going to come from one of these schools. I'm going to create a bye week. There we go. So here's San Pasqual, Carlsbad, Del Norte, Escondido, Fallbrook. All the schools are listed here, and it'll show up right over on this right-hand side. It'll say San Pasqual versus Carlsbad right here. And then over on the right, it says add to my library. And when I add it to my library, right now it says add more video. When it says add to my library, add it to my library, and I can select also the Covington crew. And I click on Covington crew. And when I add it to my library, it automatically goes to the Covington crew as well. So this is where I work on Saturdays. And so when it's a North County game, then it's going to be in here because it's one of these teams over here. But if you happen to be working Francis Parker, well, that's a different one. And so I have to go to the Coastal Conference for that. And in the Coastal Conference, if I look into the Coastal Conference pool, and I'm going to do a bye week again. It's always expecting me to trade film. So I go in here, and here there's the Bishops. Francis Parker's down at the bottom. There it's Francis Parker. So these, when you have those smaller schools and the small private schools, they're all in the Coastal Conference. So that's why when you get a film, it might be under the Grossmont Conference, it might be under the Coastal Conference and whatever. And we all have to be members of all the conferences. And once that's accomplished, you just move in and out by doing this and going to the different conference, and you can find all of the film that you want. All right. So I'm gonna take a pause right here. And let me see. I wanted to look at my Zoom. I'm gonna stop sharing for a second. There's everybody. We have 15 people here. Any questions from anybody at this point about logging in, password, moving between the different conferences, where your film is going to go?
I have a question. Are you able to rename San Diego County Football Association, on the left-hand menu of your screen?
No.
Oh, you're not? Okay.
No.
I was going to suggest if you had the right to name it, then you can name it A-San Diego. That way it would put that at the top of your menu list, since it's
but I also have to, they also have to find me, because I'll get film from De La Salle, and they'll say, who are you? And if I have to say I'm A-San Diego, no.
Okay.
But that would work. Absolutely. Okay, so that's how that works. All right, so now we're going to go into the library and take a look at that. So I'm going to share my screen again. All right, so I'm right back in North County. This is my home screen. Now on this, I have my video library and managed library, and I don't want to get into managed library today. Well, I can with the crew chiefs. Managed library is where you're going to move things around. If you have that feature, you can go into, and again, this is the 2021 season. I'm going to collapse it. Here's 21-22 season. Here's the 2021 season from last year. Let's say Carlson wants this cut up, and he's lost it. He can't find it. If you can't find a video, you have two things to do, crew chiefs, or anybody. If you've lost a video and you can't find it, you can contact me and I can find it for you by going to this location. And I will highlight Carlson. And then up here, when it pops up, I would say, I'm going to move it, and I would move it back into the regular library, not the hidden library. The hidden library is where things you delete go. This is a really great software package, because when you delete something, it doesn't actually go away. It just goes over here into purgatory. And you can't see it, and it's not part of your library. But if you want to, oh my God, unshare it, you can unshare it and put it back in there. So this is where you can go to do that, or you can contact me. If you have it under scrimmages and you really want it under week 1, when you go to move something from one week to another week, you hit move, it'll bring you over here. Same thing. Manage library. It can do a lot more than this. This is where you can also download. Let's say you want to make a movie of this varsity scrimmage right here. Then up here, you can go download right here. And when you do download, that's going to put you into a movie. It's going to ask you, do you want multiple files per playlist? That means each play is its own file. That works very quickly, and it gets done very fast. If you want a single file, it's longer. It takes longer to create. And that would be a running movie with all of your plays. So I usually go breakdown by play. I don't do a running list, but you can do it either way. And then you can do a presentation, and a presentation puts it into a PowerPoint. And I've only done that once, and it was really simple. You create a presentation, and then it's in a PowerPoint, and then you move the PowerPoint around however you want. So each of the plays is in a slide. So you can insert a slide between two plays. And so you can say this play is finished. So now you go to a slide, and the slide says the following play deals with defensive pass interference. Defensive pass interference in the rule book is blah, 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 blah. Then you go to the next slide, and there's the play. So that's what a presentation is. So that's something you can play with. It's really fun. It's really easy if you know PowerPoint. Each slide just becomes a play in PowerPoint. Okay, that's a fun one. And by the way, then you can take that PowerPoint on a thumb drive, and you can plug it in anywhere you want. You know, now you're carrying your you can carry the presentation around with you. Okay. What else does manage library do? I don't know, all kinds of stuff. But most of the time I'm going to go back, we're in library. Okay. Exchanges, this is where I do my exchanges, either direct or in the pool. If I want, and not everybody has this option, I think. I don't think coaches can go and do exchanges. So you may not have this tab. If you're going to share something, it's going to be over here when you go to Inner Squad, and you want to share this with Jerry Burgos.
And do it like, before the court.
This is how you get rid of the audio. Okay. And so I'm going to share it. And then I would put Burgos in here, B-U-R-G. And then you got to make sure you get the right Burgos. So you can get Jerry, or you can get Jerry's crew 2021. And if his is already built, which I think it is, you can click on that, and it'll go to all 5 people right now. But that is sharing video. And everyone who's in Hudl from San Diego County football officials is a coach, and coaches can all share. So we can share between us all we want. We can't exchange, because exchange goes to another association like Orange County or wherever. Okay. All right. So then we go to play tools. I do not do that. That's play scripts. Those are for coaches. And then I said team, how to manage the team. This is where I create the schedule. That's this schedule over on the right-hand side for the years and all that stuff. That's right there under schedule. Highlights, I don't use highlights, and I don't use Hudl beta. Okay. All right, so that's familiarization with that top row. All right, so now we're going to go into the library, and let's pick a game. Oh, let's do instructional video here. So when you're selecting a game, you fill in, you either click on it or you highlight the circle. So if I do this, varsity scrimmage, then I go to this one, and the circle already fills up. Now, if I go up to Coover instructional video, it switches to Coover instructional video. All right, so it's toggling back and forth between those two films. But if I want to share both of them, I go over to the little bullet, and I fill that bullet in, and then I fill this bullet in. And even though the screen still shows the instructional video, both of those have been selected. And now I can go up here and share it, and both of them can be shared. So the difference between playing and identifying or selecting, playing, you just click on the name and you're playing it. But if you're selecting something in addition to it, you have to go into the circle. Okay. All right. All right. Coover instructional video. Now you have to know that this library down the right-hand side goes from the 2021 season, which I collapsed. So let me collapse this again. So here's the 2021-22 season. It starts with preseason. I will load that up with everything until we get to the scrimmages. So everything that is going to be instructional video that we use in the classroom is going to be loaded right here on preseason. Then once we get to the scrimmages, boom, all the scrimmages are going to line up from the North County only. From the North County are going to be right here under scrimmages. If you have a Francis Parker scrimmage, it's going to be under the Coastal Conference. So your scrimmage will be according to what conference you're in. Okay. So you have to find these, and you also have to make sure you are looking in the right week. The dates are here also that help you. And you have to look in the right year, because if you come down here under 2021, you're going to find a lot of volume. This is all my library. Okay. A lot of volume, a lot of things to pick from. Okay. So anyway, make sure that that doesn't confuse you. So I'm going to keep this open down here at the bottom. Eventually, I'm going to delete all this stuff, but I think Gary Gerwig got that one time where I deleted everything and he wanted some of it. I had to go back into Library Manager and pull his stuff back out for him. But I'm getting ready to delete, so I need to tell the crew chiefs to move or select their stuff from last year that they want. All right. So now this is how the library works. I can't think of anything else I want to cover in the library. So meeting controls, I have no idea what that is. I have, let's see, do I have any sharing yet? One chat. You can also drop the PowerPoint into Google Drive, collaborate, and share it with others easily. So that's by Scott. So you don't have to carry it around. You can drop it into the cloud and Google Drive as a Google document, and you can collaborate on it. And Scott's right. You could put it out there, and everybody could just make comments into that document, assuming everyone knows how to use a Google Doc or a Google Drive. But if you got a highly technical crew, there's no limit to what you can do, because you can integrate this with any other thing that you want to do, any other software you want to use. Okay. On this, now we're getting down to the nitty gritty here. So here I am on the screen. I have play number 1 up here at the top. Now I'm going to make this a full screen. And the way I make it full screen is click this box here. That's so that I can have the best picture on my screen. It blows it up. So you can go back and forth. You can make it small, make it big, make it small again, no problem. Okay. Also in this little wheel, I did it already, there are some other things that you want to do. This snap detection can be a pain in the butt, because what it does is it puts this bar, this striped bar, it'll actually find the snap and you won't see anything before it. And you might be interested in some of the dead ball stuff that's happening before. And the way that you get rid of that bar is to go snap detection, get rid of it. So now I'm back at the beginning. See how it moved me right back to the beginning of the play before he's kicked the ball. So get rid of that snap detection unless you are trying to go fast through plays. If all you want to do is look at the snap, then you use snap detection, because it's going to move you right through all the beginning part of the play to where the snap is imminent. So that can be helpful. Audio is right here. This will turn on any audio that might be being used on that video, but it can be a pain in the butt. You don't want to toggle down your volume, so just turn it off right there. Annotations you always want on, because we're going to draw. All of these are annotations, and if you turn annotations off, they go away. So you want to turn your annotations back on. And there they are. This is really great software. There's nothing you can do that screws anything up. All you did, if you screwed something up, is you push the wrong button, and if you push the wrong button again, it's going to fix it back up. That's kind of in simplest terms how this works. There's really no damage you can do that can't be undone. So I encourage you to play with this stuff. Then you want to play all the clips. You don't want to play clips at once, and you don't want to loop the clip. If you loop the clip, it's just going to play the same clip one at a time, over and over and over, and then it'll go to clip 2 over and over and over, and clip 3 over and over and over until you make it go to the next play. So we play all the clips, and then you want wide, sideline, and end zone. So those are options that you want, settings you want to play with. The thing about this is to get it to go away, you have to click on that circle again. This can be a pain in the butt for me when I first started. I didn't know how to get rid of it once I found it and opened it, and I had it set the way I wanted. I couldn't get it to go away, and I clicked back on the box again, and it went away. All right, so then down at the bottom, down here at the bottom, this tells you that you are on clips 1 through 14. And then if there are more clips, let me go to a full game. San Marcos, ooh, why was San Marcos playing Coronado? That's gross. Okay, in this particular game, there were 171 plays. We're looking at play 1 through 100. And then I'm going to click forward on that click. And now I'm at play 100 through 171. So there's only sets of 100. So arrow to the left, I have clips 1 through 100 of 171, but can only go down to 100. But it doesn't let you screw up, because once you get to 100 and you want it to go on and you want it to naturally go to 101, it's going to go to 101. Now it naturally goes to the next set of 71. So this is Mike Allen. I can tell the way he's walking. But this is a shortcut. So now I'm going to go back to number 1, play number 1. All right. So why is this number important? When you do a play clip or cut ups for your game, and you're going to put down time, there's no time element here. So if the time you put down was 15 minutes of the first quarter, there's a good bet it was the opening kickoff. Okay, so you would know that that's going to be play number 1 or the opening kickoff. If you say that it was at 14 minutes of the third quarter, so that was the very beginning of the third quarter, the way I would find that is divide 171 by 2, which is going to be 85. And so I'm going to go down to 85. And
That's
I can
before-
open. Go ahead.
Our quarters are 12 minutes though.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. So 11:20 of the third quarter. Thank you. So I'm looking for the beginning of the third quarter. So I'm going to go to, did you see how I opened this up so I could get more numbers? You can pull this up and down right here on the left-hand side of this gray bar. You drag it up, and now you can see more numbers. But it makes your picture smaller. So then if you want your picture bigger, then you would close that back down. So let's go to 84. Let's see where we are. And then you can tell whether we're close or not, where we are in this. So another way is that sometimes they send you a film that says ODP, and that's offense, defense, and ODK, offense, defense, and kicking team. And you can look at ODK, and you can figure it out from offense, defense, or kicking, whether it was after a score or it was the beginning of the second half, because there's a kickoff by itself, and you can jump around and look at the kicking game, and that'll help you get to the right number. So use your math and use ODK. Most of them have ODK. Let me see if Poway has it. I think it's not showing it because I have my toggle switch down here. I have to change this bar, which I don't want to do right now. Okay. Okay, so now when I want to pause, I pause. When I want to go slow, I go slow. When I go fast, I go fast. When I want to go slow backwards, I go slow backwards. If I want to go fast forward, now I want to go fast backward. So those are those switches right here. This takes you to the next play. This takes you back to the previous play. Okay. That's those switches down here. Okay. So let's see if I can, do I change columns here? Yeah. Nah, I'm gonna skip it. Okay, so any question with playing video? See if I have anything up here. No chats. All right, so now we're gonna make some cut-ups. So we're gonna use Poway Mount Carmel, and I want to use this play because I don't want him backpedaling the 25 yards all the way to the sideline, right? Let's see if that's what he does. Okay, I want him to go ahead and run off and then turn, and then, so I'm going to use this as a cut up play. So, and when I'm doing cut ups, I want to open up this bottom bar. And in order to select this play, you have to do exactly the same thing I was telling you before in your library. If you want to just view the play, you can click on play 4, and there's play 4. You can click on play 1, and you're back to play 1. But if you want to select play 1, I go to stop, because if I let it run, it'll actually flip over to the next play eventually. If I want to select play 1, I have to go to the circle and select it by filling in the circle. Now I have selected play 1, and that's going to be the first play of my play cuts. So I'm going to go over here to save playlist, and I'm going to call this playlist, because that's what happens when you click save playlist. It wants you to name it. And so I'm going to call it Coover with the right spelling, practice. And I want it to be in the 2021 season because I want it to stay right here. I want to stay in week 2 because I want it to be in here right now. Actually, I want it to be right next to PHS. So it's alphabetical as well. So I'm going to say, I'm going to make this a different name so it'll be right next to Poway. I'm going to call it practice Coover. Okay, so it's going to put it in my 2021, which that's what my library is, week 2, which is where I am right now, and it's going to be under game footage, which is where I am. So I'm going to save the playlist. And what it does is it automatically puts it at the bottom of the playlist. But once I go to, let's see, where can I go now? If I go to, let's see if where I can alphabetize it. If I go here, and then I go back up, is it still there? Week 2. I think I have to leave. I have to exit out North County.
At the bottom.
Huh? I'm gonna go to Metro. Okay. And then come back and go into North County. And go down to week 2 of last year. And there it is, practice Coover right next to Poway. So I had to actually just get out of that conference and come back to the conference, and then it alphabetizes it. So now I can go back and look at practice Coover, and there's my play that I thought. So now I have this guy, and he is not what I want, but I want to identify him. So I'm going to blow this up right now. And I'm going to put a circle on him. These are your tools for marking up your video. This is a circle. So this says, this is the guy I want to look at, or this is the guy I want to look at. Or you can do more circles and you can make them small as you want and say, I want to look at these 3 guys. Okay. Bada ding, bada boom. So you can do circles like that. And you've screwed up. So now you just go over to these X's. There's 2 ways to fix your screw up. One is to go to the red X's and click on the red X and it goes away. Right? You can move it around by just dragging them, and you can move them here by dragging them. And again, you can make them bigger like that. Once you've done that, you can't get to the one behind it. So you have to drive it out of the way. Move. Now you can move it up here where you want it and make it bigger. And then you can move this one back. So you got to play around with that, but that's what you want to do. This is the other way to do it, is to actually grab the little X. I just grab the circle and move. I don't use the X. This is how you make it bigger and smaller. And this is how you can get rid of it right there. The quick way to get rid of everything that you've done is to go down here and click on this that says there's a markup, and go to the trash can and click trash can, and it all goes away. So now this bar is clean. It shows that there's no markups. By the way, when I go back to my list on number 1, there's no markup. There's no little squiggle here. Let's see what happens when I make a markup. I'm going to go back and highlight my guy that I want to talk about. And now there's a squiggle. I've done a markup. It indicates. So if I go back to my original Poway High School and I look at play number 1, it shows there's a squiggle there. In other words, that markup that I did is going to be in this library also. So anything that you do to the original source play, whether it's in Poway or in the practice, they are reading the same play. And so any markup that you do, it will duplicate and it stays in there. And I believe you have to go back to the original one, which is this one, in order to get rid of it. So I would have to go here, get rid of it. And now I can go back to Poway and it's gone. If I just had just erased it from Poway, which was the copy, then it wouldn't have gone away. Okay.
Steve, I have a question.
Go ahead.
What did you click on to make the box pop up that said playlist? What did you click on? I was writing something down.
Okay. So I'm going to create a playlist right now. Let me back. I'm going to use play number 1. Remember, you have to select by marking the circle. And then over here on the right where it says save playlist, you click save playlist. Okay.
Gotcha.
There it is.
Thank you. Thank you.
You bet. Okay. So now I go back to my practice here. Stop. I'm going to make it big because I'm going to do some markups now. I want to go ahead and highlight him right here with that circle. And then what I want to do is I want to type a box. And this is a text note. So right here in the middle, hit that box and a little box will come out. It doesn't matter if you start typing right away or make the box bigger. There's all kinds of ways to do it. The best way is to just play with it because there's nothing you can do wrong. So what I do is I just get the box there and I start typing. So I will say, try turning your back, handing the ball to the kicker, then turn and hustle to just short of the sideline. Then, whoops, then turn and back. I don't know if this is exactly right. Out, final steps. Okay, so now I have this and I don't want it up there. I want to move it. And this one, you do have to actually grab that little box and make it move. So now I can move it down here because I maybe want to put it right by him. I can actually make the box bigger and flatter. I find it sometimes boxes that are more like this. I have to move it. That are more like this are easier to read than if I are like this. Those are not as easy to read. So I tend to make mine a little longer. And I move it and I put it underneath. One of the things that I'm learning now, Steve Strimling taught me to do my stuff at the beginning of the play and don't interrupt the play as much as I used to. I used to interrupt the play constantly with little notes, and it frustrated officials because they want to watch the whole play. Okay, so now I've got my comment. Now I'm going to do some drawing. So the next thing over is drawing. So here's a squiggle. And that would be, if you're really good at this, you can draw stuff all you want like this. I am not good at that. So now I've got this mess. I'm going to go to undo, click the third or the fourth box to the left, undo, and it goes away. That just does the last thing you did. So if I did this, then I did this, then I did this, and I do undo, it's going to undo this one first. Then it's going to undo this one. Then it's going to undo this one. So it goes in order. It doesn't undo everything. If I did this, this, and this, and I wanted to get rid of all of it, then I would go to, well, I would do the same thing. Because if I go down here and hit trash, not only am I going to get rid of the squiggles, I'm going to get rid of the circle, and I'm going to get rid of my text box. So I'm best to go to undo, undo, undo. Okay. So I don't like squiggle much. Here is block. I don't use this very often, but you can. There's times when, you know, it might be effective to use. Undo. And then there is the arrow, which I use a lot. So this guy is looking at where he should be. He's making sure that his line is good. And he's probably, I don't know what else he's looking at, whatever. So I could use my arrow. And let's see, what else do I have? I have a straight line. So I can say, well, he wants to make sure that these guys are behind this straight line. So that's straight line. Whatever your is in this box showing, that's what you're going to get. So if I do it again, I'm going to get a straight line. I don't want a straight line. Now I want my arrow back. So I have to go back to my box, pick my arrow, and now I can do my arrow again. Okay. All right, that's all there is to drawing and text box. If your text box gets off the corner like this, then it makes it hard to move because sometimes your cursor doesn't want to do it. You'll see there's times when something gets off and you can't fix it because it's too far and you want to move it. Well, I guess I can move that by doing the center of it. Yeah. Mostly I get it with text box. If you get in real deep trouble, just go down here and delete the whole thing and start over. That's all you have to do. Okay. Anything about marking up? Because now we're going to do multiple cut-ups.
Are you able to trim the video clip?
Trim the video clip. The length of it? What do you mean by trim? Hello,
Jerry.
Gary. Who was that, Jerry?
Yep.
You muted.
Oh, sorry, I was muted. Okay, sorry, it's Jerry. I was wondering if you can trim a clip, meaning like if this were the play that I wanted to trim and it's kind of dead ball and nobody's moving, nobody's getting in position until halfway through the video clip, can I trim the first half off so that I can see?
Try snap detection is the only thing I can think of.
Really?
Can't you move the red part on the timeline at the bottom and move that to the left? Doesn't that shorten the total length of the
It
green?
does, but I don't know if that setting actually, the only way I know to do that. Are you talking about this, not this
No,
part?
if you go farther over to your right, there's a red
Oh, that?
arrow, and you pull that to the left. Wouldn't that shorten the end? And then yeah.
Okay, so the red and the green. There's green.
But
on
I don't know if it'll save it because I've tried that on my cut ups, and when I go back to replay it, the green and the red arrows reset back to the very ends.
Jerry,
Okay.
I had the same problem because I've been trying to use that and I don't think it saves it. So I think we got to figure out how to save that part.
Yeah, that's what I was at. I figured Steve would probably know, being an expert on this one. So
No.
okay,
No.
because sometimes there's a lot of dead time before
Yeah.
the snap happens. So yeah. Okay.
All right. So now I'm going to start making multiple cut ups. So I'm going to go back to my source game, which is Poway High School versus Mount Carmel. We've already selected play number 1, but I know that I want now play number 12. So I go down to play number 12, and I know that's a cut up play. So I'm going to hit stop. I'm going to select play number 12, and I want it to go into my cut ups. And the fastest way to do this is to select it by making the circle dark, hovering over the bar, see the cross cursor, and then left click, drag it, and it says one clip. Over here to practice, Coover, and drop it. Now I'm going to go to play number 15. I want it in there too. Highlight it. Move my cursor over. Notice that it keeps wanting to ask me, do I want to move the clip? If I want to move clip number 15 to the very beginning, and sometimes in your cut-ups, it's not a bad idea to move your plays around because you can put DPIs together, you can put line of scrimmage fouls together, you could put mechanics stuff together. Instead of having it spread out, you can do it by moving them around. So I want to move it between 10 and 11. So I move the green move clip here between 10 and 11, and then left click, and there goes 15. So it goes 10, 15, 11. And then just for the kicks of it, when you do play number, it automatically puts it back in order. So now 15 goes back down here. So if your plays are ever all garbled up for some reason, go up here under play number and click on it, and it will automatically put your entire set of plays numerically from low to high. Okay. So I'm going to go back. Let's see. What do I have in practice Coover now? I have play number 1 and play number 12. Okay. So now I'm going to go back to Poway and Mount Carmel. And now I want to add more than one play at a time. So now I know I want play number 19. And I keep watching, and I can mark these down on a piece of paper and then go back and select them. I usually do them one at a time, but I'm just showing you what you can do. Now I've selected 3 different plays from this list. So now I don't want to move them. I want to go over here and hover where my cursor shows that X. I'm going to left click and drag it. And it looks now there are 3 clips I'm dragging. Take my 3 clips, go to practice Coover and drop them. Go to practice Coover. And now I have 5 clips in there. That's probably the coolest thing I can show you. And again, I want number 32 now to move to the first before after the kickoff. I want 32 there. Boom, I can move 32 up there. I want 19 to be second. Move it up here after 32, drop it in there. Okay. Okay, so that is how you make cut-ups. Stop sharing for a second. Okay, so we've talked about logging in, knowing the conference that you're in. We've talked about your library, and we've talked about the managing your library, and we talked about creating the team. Those are all elements that are administrative. Then we talked about the screen itself and what, how you do your plays and play them and replay them and rewind them and all that. And then we went down into the bar down below and we selected a play and created a playlist and saved the playlist. And then we started adding to that playlist. Remember, create your playlist first with one play. Just create the playlist with one play. Once you've created that playlist, now you can go back and start dragging and dropping into that playlist. The other way to do it is you can identify all the stuff, 16 plays that you want, and then go over and create a playlist. And when you create the playlist, all 16 plays are going to be in that playlist. But that's highly unlikely that that's the way you're going to do things. You're probably going to be picking and dragging as you look at the video. So what I do when I'm creating video is I go through the video and I'm watching, and I watch it kind of fast speed. Walt Anderson did a presentation on how he watches video, and it works. When you've watched a lot of video, a lot of football, you can watch in double speed and stuff jumps out at you. So I do mine at faster speed. And when something jumps out at me, I'll look at it and I'll see, 9 times out of 10, there's something goofy that happened. But that's just the way I do it. So if you're just going through by yourself the entire game, I would encourage you to just kind of let it flow. Keep going through your game. Just keep watching don't get into the minutia, because you're going to end up with 400 plays. You're looking for something that really is significant that you want to focus on with your crew. So you want to look at big stuff. Remember, if you're just looking at the first quarter, that's not the most challenging quarter. Third quarter and fourth quarter can be the most challenging quarters. So don't forget about the second half of your game. And then some games go right down to the wire, and you got to look really hard and close at the end of a game. So I like to look for good mechanics early in a game, and then I look for judgment later in the game in terms of philosophy, fouls, dead ball officiating, and unsportsmanlike or personal fouls, that kind of stuff. So that's kind of what I'm looking for. And then, of course, coaches send me plays all the time. And now coaches don't have to send me the play. I'll get an email that says, hey, look at my film, play 146. Tell me what you think. That's all I need. Most of the time I just look at play 146. I can tell you right away what they're looking at. And so I respond. Or I have Don respond. Don Carey does a lot of responding for you guys. I can't handle it in a timely manner. I'm busy with college conferences, and I'm getting ready with the instructional video, and I'm doing so when the coaches stuff comes in, if it's Saturday, Monday, Sunday, I send it to Don so they can get a response right away. Just so you know, I'm not the sole proprietor of comments back to coaches. So that's why I'm very strong in my comments to crews about getting everybody involved in creating playlists, because then the searching for plays is taken care of. If you do the halftime debrief and you've got some identified plays and everybody's got it on their card, and then you go to the end of game and you debrief, and whoever is going to create that playlist has all those plays listed, there you go. That's the core. That's the meat of your playlist right there. Those plays. Those are your fouls. Those are your interesting plays, blah, 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 blah. Many, if not most, crew chiefs then go back through their entire film. Many do. And they go all the way through it looking for things that really are of interest to them as a crew chief as they are teaching with their crew. It's not a gotcha. That's not what we're doing. We're not trying to find mistakes. We're trying to find things that will make us better. And so if we use a play I screw up and we share it with the crew, we do that because then there's 4 other people who maybe won't make the same mistake I just made. So that's the idea of cut ups. And then also reinforcing the good things that people do. So when people show good mechanics, you can reinforce the good mechanics and say, this is a great example of what we've been talking about. Please keep doing this. So anything, I'm going to do a quick review of cut ups one more time, and then we're done, if that's okay with you. All right?
What I would like to see is how you do cut-ups from multiple games and put them together as one.
Same idea. Remember that when I had the cut up list underneath Poway, it's still in that, I know where it is. So I could go all the way up to a different year and open a game and drag it, but I got to drag it all the way down. I got to move my library so that I'll show you how to do it.
But it's only within the same conference, right? You can't go
Only
from
within-
Metro.
Right, only within the same conference.
Okay,
So when I'm doing my calibration or instructional video, I literally I exchange between conferences. So I will do a cut up in the city schools, say from a Morris game, and I will have 5 or 3 plays in Morris, and I call it city plays, and I leave it in that library. And then I'll do the same thing with Metro, Grossmont, and Coastal. And then I go in and I go to exchange, and I exchange with North County, from the city to North County. Then I go into North County and I accept it. So I have to do this exchanging to get it between the conferences, but I can do that. I don't think you should have to. You just have to know where your guys have to go to look for it. But between weeks, yes. Okay, somebody else, there's a chat. Using green and red arrows on the timeline to shorten a clip, according to Hudl, is not permanent. The video will return to its original time frame once you move to another clip. Okay.
dang.
Thank you, whoever contacted Google or Hudl. All right, so here we go with a repeat. Very quick reminder. Okay, so doing Gary's thing right now. I'm going to go all the way down here to a play. Let's go to one before. It was week 1. And it was somebody in Fallbrook. Looks like classical somebody in Fallbrook. Okay, so I want to share this opening kickoff with the crew. So I select crew 1. Before I do the dragging, Gary, I have to go over here to my library and get my cut-ups in my window. So they're my practice Coover right there. So I have to do that first. Then I can go back over here, hover, drag, go to practice Coover, boom. Now when I go to practice Coover, my last play is that play from Fallbrook. Okay, so you can drag from any of these games inside the same conference, anywhere you want. So creating the playlist, you highlight the play that you want. You go over to save playlist. Over here on the right, save playlist. You name the playlist. Make sure you pay attention to where it goes and remember what you named it, because once you're done, it will be in your playlist right here. And then to add, you just you highlight, drag, and drop. You can do one at a time. You can do multiple. And for markings, all your markings are here. Here's your circle. Here's your text box. Here's your arrow once you draw it. When you draw an arrow, please notice that, and when you put a circle, let's say I put the circle right here, and I want that box to be right above this guy. And I want it to say that. Okay, so now I want to drag it down. I want it right here. Perfect. And then I'm going to, I got all my markings. Look what happens when I make it big. Oh, it actually was in the right way. Most of the time, the arrows, the circles where you put them, they move. The arrows where you put them don't match up anymore. So you have to undo and redo your arrow. So that
It'll move around if you view it from your computer to your phone to your tablet.
yeah, the way I always do it is I do all my markings in full screen. I never do my markings in this little screen. I open it up big and then I do my markings, because then I know they're always going to be in the right place. Okay. Other questions?
Yeah, about the playlist, you were talking about possibly deleting games to purgatory. When you remove full game clips, will that also make your playlist disappear, or will the playlist still be saved even though you delete the game film?
Playlist will still be there.
Okay.
Yeah. But if you did the marking in your game that disappeared, and then you try to fix your playlist, the markings, they may go away, but then they'll come back because they're all saved in that game that you deleted. You have to actually go back and get that game back and delete those things, or make a copy. This is one of the things that I can do. So let's say I get plays from Gittleson, and what's this, 2 holding calls? Yeah. So I get this play from Gittleson, and it has holding or no foul, and there will be an end zone cut. And I don't want any of this, and I can't get rid of it because Gary's the one that put it in there. What I can do is I can go into 2 holding calls over to the right where it says modify, go to modify and say make a copy. And then it's in here identified down here in week, I don't know what week, there it is, 2 holding calls. And I want to say copy. And then it says, where do I want to put it? And I want to put it the same place it was, save. So now I go back to my library. Go to week 2. And it should say 2 holding calls. Here's 2 holding calls. And notice there's the holding and no foul. Here's 2 holding calls, copy, and everything's gone. So if you make a copy of anything that comes to you with markups that you don't want, just make a copy of it. And then when you want with anything, you can go in after it's highlighted, go over to modify, and you can rename it. And what I like to do at the end is I get rid of copy. You get rid of copy, and I save it. Boom. Okay. So that's over here under, and I'm done. That's under modify out here. Modify, you can copy, you can move it somewhere else here as well. And you can rename. Those are the 3 things I do: copy, move, and rename. Oh, you can download right from here too. It's great. So this is pretty handy. Okay. All right, with that, stop my sharing. I am available for, you got no, who took notes? Who is that? Corso. Okay. Yeah. All right. So I can offer them these notes along with the recording of this 1-hour session. And pretty much I hope everybody can either get in, log in, and begin to experiment with stuff and create their playlists and mark them up. remember, there's always a delete, there's always a fix, there's always a repair. Okay? If you ever get stuck, all you got to do is call me and I can talk you through it, or send me an email and I can fix it with you. All right?
Thanks,
Yeah.
Steve.
Good? All right, guys. Thanks so much. I appreciate it. And
Thanks for
have a great
class.
weekend.
Thank you, Steve.
Thanks for
Thanks,
class.
Steve.
bet.
Happy Father's Day.
Thanks, Steve.
You bet.
Thanks, Steve. Happy Father's Day.
Thank you. You too.